Hi guys, I'm Kalila Reynolds and this is Money Moves brought to you by Exim Bank in partnership with Business Access TV. This is the show for all the entrepreneurs trying to figure out your business, trying to figure out how to make that money move and make that business grow. This week we're talking social media, how to optimize social media for your business. And we're talking to CEO and founder of Point Global Marketing, Javed Nixon. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All right, good. So, how can businesses leverage social media? What platforms should we even use, first of all? There's so many out there.
I think one of the first things you have to ask yourself is who you're trying to reach. And usually that dictates the platforms that you're going to be on. For example, if you're a B2B business, it's important to be on LinkedIn. Everybody knows Facebook. Facebook is kind of the big elephant in the room when it comes onto social media. Everybody's on it. So you want to have a presence there as well. But if you have things that are photogenic, you also want to use things like Snapchat, Instagram, because those are the platforms that are really optimized for video and photos. So it really depends on the customers you're trying to reach and where your customers are existing on the platform.
Okay, I see a lot of businesses that use Instagram. They tend to have their pages dominated by graphics. So they'll have like a flyer, a graphic poster on their page. Is that a good strategy?
No, not generally, no. With Instagram, what you want to do is go for really strong aesthetic imagery that is not too overtaken by text. You want it to communicate what you're saying in the text based on what you have in the section that is for that, and you want the imagery to speak for itself. So Instagram actually gives a lot of guidelines about how the quality of your photo is. Actually, the better quality imagery that you have on your Instagram page, the better the exposure. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah?
If you have great quality imagery, the algorithm is enhanced to promote those images more than average size imagery. So
it detects the quality automatically?
Absolutely. Based on the quality of the shutters that has been taken,
Pretty
it
cool.
does amplify the reach of the content that is posted.
So you want to invest in good quality
Absolutely.
device to capture those images.
Yeah. If you think about how Instagram was built, it was built for great photography. That was the value proposition going in. So they have stayed true to that. So if you have a brand, if you're especially doing things like social commerce where you're trying to sell something through your social pages, you want to ensure that the quality of the imagery is very high quality, as best as you can possibly get. And there are easy ways to do that. Invest in a good quality phone. Most phones these days can take very high dynamic photographs. You want to do those things. You want to ensure that the staging is good as well if you're using Instagram. So definitely.
So I'm sure you get this question a whole lot. How do I get people to follow me, to follow my business page?
Yeah. The best way to get people to follow you is to put out interesting content. Content is king when it comes down to social media. People who put out content that people want to engage with, people want to learn something from. There are different techniques that you use. Some brands use humor. Some brands use educational facts. Some brands use just the vibrancy of the content they're putting out. So you want to find the space, you want to find the personality of the brand that you're working with and channel that through your social media page. It's important to be authentic. It's important to ensure that people are able to connect with your brand, approachable online. So those are some of the techniques people use. Some brands use sarcasm. It really depends on where you want to position the brand, the type of the brand that you want to produce. But a good way to find a voice for social media is to think about it as a person. If I have a clothing store, what would it be? Is it sassy? Is it relaxed? Is it laid back? Is it casual? What kind of clothes do I sell? Who are the persons buying that clothes? And just find that personality and then channel that personality through your social media pages.
I like that strategy. So would you recommend having a sort of content calendar?
Absolutely.
It's schedule for your posts?
Absolutely. So one of the ways to really ensure consistency is through a content calendar. What that allows you to do is it allows you to align the content that you're having on your page with the objectives that you're driving. And this objective setting is extremely important for social media. A lot of people go on social media without aligning their social media needs to their business objective. It's important that you have that alignment and then you use the content schedule to ensure that your content is actually driving towards the goal that you have set.
And some pages allow you to pre-schedule content.
Absolutely.
So you say, make this go live at 10,
Exactly.
10 a.m. on Wednesday.
Yeah, and there are a number of tools that you can use, tools like Hootsuite, Sprout Social, that allows you to pre-schedule content, that allows you to optimize content. Even some of the channels, for example, LinkedIn, if you have a business page, it now suggests content that it thinks your users would like to engage with. So the platforms themselves gives little tidbits or tips that if you follow, you can actually really ensure that you amplify your reach and you reach the persons that you're trying to reach.
And let me tell you, that last strategy in particular, having a schedule for your post, that's worked for me. I can testify to that since I up my postings to 3 times a day,
Yes.
make a commitment to it,
Yes.
and constantly putting content out there, you're gonna see your followers grow.
Absolutely. And one of the things that people don't pay attention to is when they post what. When you're posting for content that you don't have to post immediately, scheduling the appropriate time for that content to go out is extremely important. You want to figure out when are your customers online and ensure that you time the post in line
And you
with
can
when
get
they're
that info
online.
from the analytics on your page.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things that the social media platforms have done very well over the last few years is refine the analytics so that everybody has an understanding of what it's actually saying. So when you see impressions, a lot of times the analytics tools explain what that means. When you see reach, when you see yield, it explains. When you see engagement rate, it explains what it means for you and your brand. And it benchmarks those rates along with industry averages. So when you see what type of business that is, if you populate those areas on your Facebook page, for example, it will benchmark your clothing store or your publisher website or anything that you're doing along with other persons who are in a similar industry and deliver you information to see how you're performing against those who are in your industry. And if you make use of that, you can adjust how you post over time, the content that you're posting over time to really have an impact on the bottom line of your business.
Very useful information. Thanks, Javette. Well, this has been Money Moves, brought to you by Exim Bank's Business Advisory Service and BATV. Of course, you can find out more information on their website, eximbankja.com. I'm Kalila Reynolds. See you next week.